This has all kind of led to the inauguration of Donald Trump on Monday around noon, at noon. But before we get to that, Joe Biden slurred his way through his gaslighting of America in his farewell speech on Wednesday night, where he attempted to divide the country one final time. Included in his rambling of lies was an explanation for the LA wildfires. You guessed it, Biden claimed climate change was to blame.
Right now, the existential threat of climate change has never been clearer. Just look across the country, from California to North Carolina. That's why I signed the most significant climate and clean energy law ever in the history of the world.
So yeah, I don't know about you. I didn't know that climate change could cut the LA Fire Department budget, shut down a water reservoir, cancel critical controlled burns, and appoint a DEI hire to run the fire department. Weird. That's new information to me. Much like how the definition of the word vaccination has changed following COVID. Before 2015, vaccination used to mean an injection of a killed or weakened infectious organism in order to prevent the disease. Then just before COVID, it was changed slightly to the act of introducing a vaccine into the body to produce immunity to a specific disease. Both talking about prevention and immunity. In other words, it would keep you from getting said disease. Well, after COVID, once the vaccines didn't work as they promised, the definition was changed to now mean the act of introducing a vaccine into the body to produce protection from the specific disease. Now, you can still get the illness, but you'll be protected, is what they said. And in the case of COVID, there's very little evidence that the vaccine offered you much protection in the long run. Now, this is exactly what they do with climate change. In regards to climate change, they've done the same thing over the years. The Earth's climate does change, of course, but it's not the existential threat that Biden and Democrats say it is. Remember, it was originally feared a new ice age was coming because the Earth was cooling. Then 30-ish years ago, it became global warming when it started to heat up again, and they couldn't call it a new ice age anymore because that made them sound stupid. But then Earth would cool down again because it happens in cycles. So to not sound stupid again, they changed it once more to fit the now all-inclusive narrative that no matter how the Earth was responding, they called it climate change. All to fearmonger. It's a hoax. Stop believing bullshit. Biden claimed that the social media also needs to be held accountable for allowing misinformation to rise after taking away fact checks.
6 decades later, I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech industrial complex that could pose real dangers for our country as well. Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation, enabling the abuse of power. The free press is crumbling. Editors are disappearing. Social media is giving up on fact-checking. The truth is smothered by lies told for power and for profit. We must hold the social platforms accountable.
No, Joe, we didn't give up on fact checks. We gave up on biased fact checkers. Community notes is still a form of fact checks, you old dolt. But Zuckerberg was literally out last week saying Biden spearheaded the misinformation campaign over the last 4 years. But anytime you hear misinformation coming out of a Democrat's mouth, that means it's just the truth that the Democrats don't like. Simple as that. This right here is Biden's true legacy. Biden also claimed he is handing over a strong USA than when he took over. And he claims the economy is the strongest it's been ever in the world, touting that he created 17 million new jobs.
You serious?
I mean, seriously. 17 million new jobs, not to mention all this he did here is what he's going to be remembered for. I mean, complete.
This is like, I don't know, man. At this point, though, like, there's people who fully believe that shit, so it is what it is.
I mean, 17 million new jobs. Is that why Joe Biden's favorability rating is the lowest of his presidency, just as he's about to leave office? His lies are staggering, and he expects you to be so stupid as to buy it. Here's the video where Biden claimed that he created all these jobs, and the fact check on Biden from Steven Crowder that's based on actual fact and data. But as Democrats normally do, Biden would likely say it's misinformation because it goes against his lies. But I thought fact checks were a good thing, Joe.
At home, we've created nearly 17 million new jobs, more than any other single administration, a single term. Millions of entrepreneurs and companies creating new businesses and industries, hiring American workers, using American products.
Okay, so here's the truth. You know well enough that most of the jobs that would be considered part of the economic growth were returning jobs from COVID. Okay, that was 9.4 million jobs. But here's the more important truth. 25% of the jobs under the Biden administration were government jobs. Okay, so that's just taking your tax dollars to give it to someone who may or may not have rightfully earned it. And then we said employing Americans. Here's the really disturbing truth. Native-born Americans had zero job growth. None. No new jobs. Foreign workers, over 6 million new jobs under the Biden administration.
Jeez. That makes sense.
Darn those pesky fact checks, though, when they're backed up by actual data and they don't go your way, eh, Joe?
That's crazy work.
I mean, all data references to Steven Crowder, by the way, can be found at louderwithcrowder.com if you are indeed interested in those facts that he just shared. Also, in his farewell address with zero self-awareness, Joe Biden warned the nation about the dangers of an ultra-wealthy oligarchy that must pay their fair share of taxes.
I warn the country of some things that give me great concern. This is a dangerous concentration, and that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. The dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked.
And this is further proof of how much they think you're stupid. I mean, because, correct me if I'm wrong, he literally gave a Medal of Freedom to one of his ultra-wealthy oligarchs just last week.
Why is his eyes so fucking big?
I don't know. That's Alex Soros, the son of George Soros, the Democrat billionaire donor, as well as, they've got other oligarchs that are Democrat billionaires too. But never let an opportunity to pathetically attempt to vilify Trump and Elon Musk pass you by, I suppose. That's what he was trying to do here.
He looks like a weirdie.
I don't understand that part either. Like,
eyes.
Again, I know perception is everything. I don't know how the fuck you people can't see that, like, these billionaires or these millionaires that they be talking about are the same people that they know, that they shake hands with, that they have these dinners with, these galas and shit like that. Who the fuck do you think's going to these things? It's those people. The same people that they are condemning on TV, the same people they having handshakes with in the back room behind closed doors.
Not to mention just weeks ago, Joe Biden granted his son Hunter an unprecedented decade-long pardon, shielding him from tax fraud charges. 6 major banks, including JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo, filed over 170 suspicious activity reports with the Treasury Department, alleging the Biden family's involvement in money laundering, human trafficking, and tax fraud.
That's good.
We tried to tell you everybody that a couple years ago.
Eric, could you say that again? How many accounts?
170.
170. Yeah. That's 170 different times that they've tried to warn people.
Yeah. Congressional investigations uncovered that foreign funds from Russia, China, and Ukraine were funneled through 20 Biden-linked shell companies before being distributed to 9 Biden family members, including a grandchild. None of the Bidens registered under the Foreign Agent Registration Act, FARA, as required by law. In other words, the Biden family who live by their own set of rules and avoid paying their fair share of taxes are the very ultra-wealthy oligarchs soon-to-be former President Biden warns the nation about. But no matter what Joe Biden says, he will largely be remembered as a failed president and definitely the worst president of my lifetime. Biden is someone who, after twice losing a run for the presidency, the Democrats, media, and big tech rigged the 2020 election to hand him an unearned win. He then proceeded to be the worst occupant of the Oval Office in history who was pushed out against his will by his own party. Utter disgrace. Good riddance, if you ask me. And but that's all, folks. I mean,
I don't understand how, like, his own people turned his back on him when they thought Kamala was going to win. Like, hands down, they all knew, okay, she's it. We put everything behind her, and they, like, you know what I'm saying? They started dusting my man off.
Yeah.
And then when she lost, they was like, "Oh shit, well, we got to fix this relationship now." You know what I'm saying?
Could have
Like,
been possibly our decision making that did it either.
yeah, that's whatever. Dude.
Crazy talk, man.
But he was the most popular.
These people just don't get it. They don't get it. But yeah, Trump is officially inaugurated on Monday, January 20th at noon. This president is all business.
That's a cold picture.
This is the official presidential photograph that he took for this year.
That's a cold picture.
Now compare that to the pic he took in 2017. This is the photo of a man who may have been a bit naive about what he signed up for, but this is a man who's been put through hell and he's not playing games anymore.
That's a cold picture, bro.
So can't wait. Justice is hopefully coming. Thank you for checking out this clip of the Dragon's Den podcast. If you like what you saw here, please consider checking out our live podcast almost every single Friday night here on the channel at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And until our next video, guys, take care and God bless.